40-80E, South Carolina Code 1987 is amended. All the media in the immediate area have been notified of the date, time, location, and agenda of the meeting. Our prayer by Ms. Gore and followed by the pledge with Mr. Jones.
Good evening, everyone. Let's bow our heads. Thank you, Father, God. Thank you for the many, many blessings that you are doing for the Darlington County School District. Thank you for the ones that we are going to honor on tonight. And we thank you, God, for all the presentations that are going to be made. We thank you, God, for the new challenges that we are getting ready to embark on for this year. And we're praying and we're looking for good results. And I thank you, God, for our superintendent. I praise our chair and all of our board members and our SNL team. In your name we pray. Amen. Amen.
Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Can I get a motion to approve the agenda?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries. We do not have any citizens' comments tonight, so we'll go ahead and move on to honors, awards, and recognition. We will start out right here. You want to cut us out from this one?
Okay. So we've got, we're starting off with, I believe, Mr. Schuler, and we have some athletic recognitions, and then we'll turn it over to Dr. Nichols after that.
Good evening. Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
I'm going to use my teacher voice. Today I have the honor and privilege of recognizing some amazing student athletes that we have here at the Darlington County School District. Our first group of individuals are 2 student athletes that were chosen to participate in the 2024 Shrine Bowl of the Carolinas. When we call your name, we ask that you come up so you can take a picture with our board chair and our superintendent. First, we're recognizing Kendall Walton from Lamar High School. Head coach is Coach Burris, AD, Coach Burgess, and Principal Mr. William Lennar. Congratulations. Our next student athlete comes from Hartsville High School, Mr. Demarion Coe. All right, our next set of individuals that we recognize are the 2 student athletes both from Hartsville High School who were chosen to participate in the Touchstone Energy Cooperative Bowl, the North and South All-Star Game. The 2 individuals, first we're going to recognize Mr. William Barnes. And I saw Derek, and Mr. Derek Brown. Derek Brown, come on. Congratulations, I'm so very proud. That's head coach Calabrese, AD Bradford Booth, and Principal Corey Lewis.
Thank you.
And our final recognition for athletics tonight goes to a student athlete also from Hartsville High School, She was selected to participate in the 2024 South Carolina Coaches Association of Women's Sports 4A All-Star Team. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Miss Maya Madaris. Coach Odom, AD Bradford Booth, and once again, Principal Corey Lewis.
Thank you.
And next, we have some academic recognitions. Dr. Nichols.
Good evening. I am proud to recognize 7 Hartsville High School students who were selected to participate in the 2025 South Carolina SC American Choral Directors Association Honors Choir. We have the privilege of hearing these students at the Hall of Fame, and so I am proud to give them these awards. First, Lydia Cheek. Alfonso Langley, DeMonte Pendergrass,
Thank you.
Philip Pendergrass,
Do you want to get DeMonte as well, and since they're brothers, and we can get Corey up here last time?
Celebrate with everybody.
Thank you.
Jeffrey Pickford, Patrick Rode, Sanders Ford Watts. Thank you for representing Darlington County well. Our next award goes to Sharon Zhang of Hartsville High School, who won the 2024 South Carolina National Chemistry Week Illustrated Poem Contest.
Thank you.
Thank you for representing Darlington County well.
And I know you guys are student athletes and choral members and such, and I know y'all want to rush home and get home to your studies, so if you want to leave at this time, we'll pause for a minute while if anybody wants to leave the board meeting now.
Any of our students that we recognize, you're welcome. We understand busy schedules.
We do understand. And if anybody at the back wanted to move up closer, we'll pause a minute for that as well. We'll move on to our consent items. We have 3 minutes that are there. If we want to combine those, can I get a motion for approval of those meetings for the January 6th special call, the January 27th work session meeting, and the January 13th regular meeting?
Madam Chair, I move that we accept all 3.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries. The next Arlington Board of Education work session is scheduled for Monday, February 24th at 6 p.m. in the training room number 3 here at the Darlington County School District Administrative Office. And our next regular board meeting will be March 10th at 6 o'clock here in the administrative training room, also at the district office. And our final thing for consent items is our adult education admissions. Can I get a motion to accept our adult education admissions?
Yep, so moved.
Can I get a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries. And that moves us on to our reports, administrative, and our presentations. And I think this is where we're going to move to Dr. Nichols. Dr. Newman, you
Yep.
would like to?
So we're going to start off with our Alert Gifted and Talented program update with Dr. Nichols and Mrs. Marissa Johnson, and some of our GT teachers and students that are with us as well. So we brought a host of folks with us to talk a little bit about where we are with the update now. So, okay?
Ms. Johnson is our Director of Magnet Programs, and so she has done a fabulous job getting this presentation ready, and I'm excited for you guys to get to hear some of the exciting things that they're doing, and then when she finishes, I will give you the rest of the CIA update.
Thank you, thank you. Good evening, everyone. To our Board of Trustees, our District Board of Trustees, to our Superintendent, Dr. Newman, SLT team, and to our guests here in the audience. My name is Marissa Johnson, and I am the Coordinator of Arts and Innovative Programs. I'm going to share some information with you on our new Alert GT program. And bear with me because I wanted to make sure I shared everything with you so I have it written down, okay? After some thorough investigation over the years, hearing concerns from teachers, principals, and even our parents, we are thrilled to say that we have reopened our Alert GT program, all thanks to our superintendent, Dr. Newman, and you, our District Board of Trustees. We thank you for your willingness and commitment to the education of our gifted learners to ensure that they reach their full potential. Before the Alert team provides you with an inside look into the day-to-day business of the program we've created, I do want to provide you with some overall demographic data for the Alert GT program. And I believe we submitted it to the board docs, just some demographic data. The program serves around 240 3rd through 5th grade students. 68% are white, 30% are black, and almost 2% other either Asian, Pacific Islander, or Hispanic. 51% are girls and 49% are boys. I also want to preface the presentation tonight to let you know that not just any kind of program would do. We wanted a program where our gifted learners could thrive, where they feel safe, supported, challenged, and have a sense of belonging with like-minded peers. Our goal for this program is to grow our gifted learners. And not just quantitatively looking at numbers, which we will track through our MAP scores and SC Ready, but also qualitatively through portfolio assessments, student-led projects, and self-assessments examining the whole child. We are aiming for a program that provides students with opportunities to explore their interests and passion, including self-reflection activities along with academic rigor. The Alert team and we attended the 2-day state GT conference back in December, and one of the keynote speakers was Dr. Jim Massey from South Carolina, and she is one of the gurus of gifted education. She stated that academic rigor is not just about curriculum and materials. It's about a state of mind resulting from cultivating a learning environment and mindset that are products of a teacher. A teacher that has high learning and thinking expectations for their students. We were very fortunate to have hired a great group of teachers who form our Alert team to bring this program, off of the paper and into existence. They work extremely well together, and they have a great rapport with one another and their students. They bounce ideas off of each other, and most importantly, they join us in advocating for their students. They are dedicated to growing all of our elementary gifted learners in the district. Ladies and gentlemen, I introduce you to the Alert GT team.
On behalf of the Alert GT team, I just want to thank you, ladies and gentlemen of the Darlington County School Board. Thank you for giving us the opportunity to share a little bit about this, that we are so passionate about what we're doing for our gifted, talented young people in Darlington County. But before we start, we want to start this the same way we start every class period with our students in grades 3 through 5. And we're going to ask if we have any Alert GT students in the audience, would you please come up and help us do the mantra? I believe we have students joining us from Carolina Elementary and St. John's Elementary. All right, you ready? I am
alert.
My potential
Has no limits.
My thinking is
Rigorous.
My planning is
Strategic.
I think, therefore
I am.
And I am
Alert.
Excellent job. Thank you. Alert is the acronym that we use as part of the Gifted and Talented program to differentiate our students. We want them to feel a sense of pride in their accomplishments and academic abilities. It stands for Accelerated Learning and Enrichment for Rigorous Thinkers. And our mission is to identify and explore the potential of these gifted and talented students through the delivery of academic standards that are really tailored to their individual interests. Through real-world problem-based lessons and activities, these students will participate in challenging, authentic experience that really go above and beyond what is available to them in the regular ed classroom. Now I'm going to introduce who we are. I'm Dr. Susan Porter-Voss. I have about 15 years experience in public schools in South Carolina, and I serve Lamar Spalding Elementary and JLK Elementary.
I'm Deborah Davis Bird. I have 27 years experience, and I serve Brockington Elementary School, Rosenwald Elementary, and St. John's Elementary.
I'm Dr. Kristen Miller. I have about 12 years experience, and I serve North Hartsville Elementary and Bay Road Elementary.
My name is Amanda Saludi. I have 26 years of experience, and I serve the students at Carolina Elementary and also Thornwell School for the Arts.
So who we serve. Our gifted and talented have a unique set of educational skills. They're not always honor roll students like people sometimes think. They do sometimes require that extra support, and we do provide that for them. They meet the GT qualifications to be state identified by meeting two of the three dimensions. Dimension A is reasoning ability, which measures how you solve problems. Dimension B is academic achievement, and that measures how well you know or have learned reading and math. And dimension C is intellectual or academic performance, and that's a combination of the aspects of A and B. To assess those and to get those scores for dimension A, we use COGAT, usually given to them when they're in 2nd grade, but we can do it later as well. Dimension B, we have the Ohio test. We use MAP, and we also have SC Ready for math and reading. And for dimension C, we have South Carolina performance task assessments that we can use.
Okay, we serve child placement students. These students these are students who met the GT criteria in one dimension. They are offered the opportunity to participate in the Darlington County School District Alert GT program, and nearly half of our students, 49% of our students that we serve, are child placement students.
All right, so as we stated earlier, the 4 of us travel between the elementary schools in Darlington County, providing adequate and equitable GTT instruction to all students who qualify, either state identified or if they met one dimension. It is suggested through the State Department of Education that 3rd graders receive 125 minutes per week. 4th and 5th grade students will receive 200 minutes of instruction per week, and we have been able to work with the administrative teams at each of our elementary schools to work out our unique and independent schedules for each teacher. Additionally, we have time in our schedules to work with the primary grades with 1st and 2nd grade high flyers to get them ready for the COGAT assessments in order to increase our future numbers in this program. Our ELA unit is from the College of William and Mary. These are appropriate units focused on the development of decoding skills for complex literacy texts, as well as vocabulary acquisition in order to prepare our students for standardized testing. Our math curriculum is called Project M3. The children really enjoy this. It provides real life relative applications to get them to better understand the concepts that we are introducing and that they're studying. It builds spatial and numerical awareness and critical thinking skills to make our students more competitive in our educational environments. Super excited about this Renzulli learning software that has been implemented this year. It's a way to tailor instruction directly to the personal interests and academic needs of each student. Through Renzulli, we're able to disseminate learning inventories for each student, which provide detailed and valuable insight into how best to engage them. Renzulli focuses on developing talents in children, provides a broad range of advanced level enrichment experiences for all students, and also provides advanced follow-up opportunities for young people based on their strengths and interests. And at this time, I would love for a few of my students to be able to read their profiles. Each student, and I think all the teachers as well, we took a profile. And in this profile, it's going to give you your personal interests, your top 3 personal interests, and also your preferred instructional styles. So I have just West and Lucas and Georgia. If you'll come up very quickly and read your profiles. Okay. All right, she's got yours. All right, Georgia. And Colin. All right, go ahead. Right here. Right here. All right. Okay.
Hi, my name is Georgia Keels. I am a 5th grader at Carolina Elementary. My primary learning interests are reading, fine arts, and writing. My preferred instructional styles are programmed, instructional, independent studies, and I enjoy simulations.
Okay.
Hi, my name is Weston Flowers, and I am a 4th grader at Carolina Elementary. My primary learning interests are athletics, social action, and reading. My preferred instructional styles are for simulations, learning games, and I enjoy lectures.
Yes. Very interesting what we found out.
My name is Colton Flowers, and I'm a 4th grader at Carolina Elementary. My primary learning interests are athletics, math, and social action. My preferred instructional styles
our discussions, working in groups, and I enjoy lectures. Hi, my name is Lucas O'Leary, and I'm a third grader at Carolina Elementary. My primary learning interests are athletics, writing, and science. My preferred instructional styles are independent studies, lectures, and program instruction.
Very good. All right. Good job.
Now we're going to talk a little bit about what kids do while they're in the room. And we're going to try to do this quickly because my computer's going to restart in 5 minutes.
Okay, we got this.
First, we did hurricane structures. Dr. Miller and I both did hurricane structures. The unit that I had was actually an activity developed by NASA to introduce children to how hurricanes form and the system we use to identify wind speed to place category numbers on our hurricanes.
We also looked at NOAA, and these are our Bay Row kids. They created structures based on the needs of a South Carolina home because we do live in a hurricane area. Then they created ones based off the West Coast, and we talked about how foundation styles would be different and things of that nature. So they were able to do kind of like a Venn diagram and compare and contrast.
We also have our students complete very quick STEM challenges in order to get their brains really up and moving so that we can tackle some more complex content. Here, mine are using the mathematical concept of area to create cages for rogue gingerbread people using toothpicks and marshmallows. And then they're also huge fans of tangrams. Usually, that one has a card that tells you what to make, but usually I tell them, here are your pieces, make a butterfly. And Kristen has
And here we were back to foundations, so we switched materials and we used cups, but the cups had different volume and sizes, so they were able to use different sizes to see what was compatible and what worked well with each other.
I believe this is Miss Burns again.
Okay, this is our project where we analyze fingerprints. Most people don't know that everyone's fingerprints are unique. And so once we did this project, the children had an opportunity to see that they all had different fingerprints. Their fingerprints were not the same. And one of the projects, we used balloons, and we took the fingerprint, put it on the balloon, and then blew the balloon up so we could actually see the fingerprint. And we also did one with on paper where we looked at all 5 fingers and compared the prints.
And the officer you see here is George Kelly. He is a North Hartsville SRO, so he came in and was able to fingerprint my classroom, and we looked at minuets and loops and arches to see what child took my pencil sharpener earlier that day. So we just kind of played a mystery game with it.
All right. 1, 2, 3.
This is students who have studied steps of the scientific method, chemical reactions and density, making individual lava lamps. They were really excited about that. We got that idea after we went on the governor's school field trip the first time. This is mathematical concept.
Yes. This is actually a fun activity that came out of our math curriculum. The children learned about a base 3 number system. Our number system is obviously a base 10. And so they traveled to the land of treble in our classes, and they were able to use manipulatives, giggles, bickles, rickles, and trickles. They love that activity. Our 3rd graders got to do that. So they were able to really dive in and explore the base 3 number system, and then we switched to the base 10 number system, and we were able to compare the two. So they really enjoyed that activity.
To open the term, we let our students make 3-dimensional selfie sculptures, which look really neat. But actually, every zigzag, arch, swirl, and color is designated for individual characteristics. and they can tell you a lot about the students that you have in the room. So for instance, the one that's pictured there is a student that's a primarily auditory learner that also is very easily impacted by external stressors. So now we've learned exactly how the child is going to respond to academic and behavioral pressure. We also allow our students to have an opinion about what we study in class. And we are able to tailor specific lessons to them using Renzulli software. Additionally, I have 2 groups that were very interested in language and geography. So far we have learned conversational phrases in Spanish, Korean, and Japanese. And they made me relabel the bathroom sign in all 3 languages, which is why that photo is there.
Thank you. They keep me straight. They keep me straight. We have a partnership with the South Carolina Governor's School of Math and Science in Hartsville, and they have STEM days. And because we are partnering with them, they give us first dibs on what days we want to come. So we've already visited this year in the fall. We've taken our groups out, and they went out for 3 days. And we are also taking our Hartsville group and our Lamar group tomorrow. So we will be at the Governor's School for the next 3 days. But this partnership is very, very critical to this program because it allows us to extend some of our STEM lessons outside of the classroom. And they get to meet with Governor's School instructors on these particular lessons. So the students get a ball out of it. They're able to eat lunch on campus with the other govies, as they call them, and it works wonders. We even had some students that wanted to attend the Governor's School. And we're like, okay, you got some years before you get there. Since it died. Chess is another program we have partnered with the Governor's School. And I think we have a chess player that participated. Come on up here if you wouldn't mind. We have partnered with Dr. Gordon Brown at the Governor's School and some of his chess players at the Governor's School. And I will tell you from Dr. Gordon Brown, he said that when our students came to the Governor's School, he thought they were coming to learn chess. Oh no, our students already knew how to play chess. So they really had a ball. So he was able to work with them and teach them new strategies. And that stresses those critical thinking skills that our students need. So would you like to share your experience with chess?
It was very fun. I really didn't know them until they teach me. And I really won most of my games. And it was mostly very fun.
Okay. Thank you.
He's begging me to buy chess games.
Yeah. And what was after our, I think that's it. I think that's the end of our presentation, but we will entertain any questions anyone has.
Are you able to accommodate all students?
If they are state identified, GT, and then we also have included students that met 1 dimension. So they're not quite GT, but they're close. So we get with our principals to make sure if they want to include them into the program. Because of being a state identified GT student, we do not have as many at certain schools, if it's a smaller school, to make a GT class. So we have employed, as in the district, a trial placement series. So we're able to serve students that have met 1 dimension. And a lot of times after students participate in the program as a 1 dimension trial placement student, the next time their test, because you can take the test each year if you're referred by your parent, the next time they take the test, they may score as a GT student and be identified as GT, state identified.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I just wanted to say that I want to thank Dr. Newman and the staff and you all as well, because we've been talking about this for some time. And I'm glad to see that we have finally gotten back to recognizing and working with our gifted and talented students.
I do agree with you, Mr. Govan. This is a great team that we have here, And they have really, like I said in my opening, they have really taken this program off of the paper and brought it to life. And the students enjoy the program. We meet every month for our PLC, and I just sit back. I know what the first 15, 20 minutes just listening to their stories of how their students enjoy coming to their class.
It's their favorite day of the week.
So it just does my heart good.
How many students do we serve total?
239. Yes.
Across 9 campuses.
So
what's the maximum number you can serve? You have a
Well, typically there's no maximum number. I mean, if you have a certain number of state identified GT students, then you have to serve them.
what happens after the year and they're retested, and if they don't, they're still only meeting 1 out of the 3?
Good question. What we have with our trial placement is they are placed for 1 year, and once they are retested and they still do not qualify, we do ask the principal if this is a student they want to continue in the program. We also consult with parents and our teachers to see if the program is another good fit for them to stay in it for another year. The state of South Carolina does not require districts to serve their MET1 students, but it is good to nurture those students to get them closer to testing state-identified GT.
So if our program was, if we had more MET 2, 3 kids, would we still be able to serve them at 1? Or is that kind of something that we're doing?
It's something we're doing to try to generate more. That's it. Yeah. So if we had 240 state identified, that's who we'd be serving. And so the hope is, and you heard also that our teachers are working with first and second graders too to try to help get that pipeline moving for state identified.
Going out to my GT class was my favorite day of the week.
Oh.
And I also learned to play chess in my GT.
Oh, wow. So we might have a chess game.
No, I wouldn't even take a chance. I'm sure he could get me quick.
Any other questions or comments?
I just, I want to thank all of y'all for jumping in with, I know at the beginning of the year, you were thinking to yourselves, what exactly are we going to be doing? But you all tackled it, came up with a schedule, came up with a program. I've been in the schools when you're teaching. I don't interrupt you most of the time, right? I stop by and look in the door because I really don't want to, interrupt instruction much, but I'm so encouraged by the work that you all are doing, by the program that you've put together. Again, this is your program. It's our program, but it's your program because you started off with this. It was a concept and idea, back at the end of last school year, and you've brought it to fruition for us. But I'm most excited for our students that you are serving and that get a chance to participate. The students that are with us tonight, thank you for being willing to be here and talk to the adults about what you're doing in school. We really like to hear that, and we hope you'll come back and visit with us sometime and share some more.
Definitely.
Okay?
Thank you.
Thank you all so much.
Thank you so much for sharing. It has truly been a privilege to see it grow. I think my first day on the job was July 15th, and I think you got your 4th teacher. When was that, Ms. Johnson?
Yes, that was at the very late hour.
It was a very late hour, but we were so glad it worked out for the students. And I will say, part of my previous district's roles was GT, and she is doing exactly what she should be doing, nurturing those MET ones. Most of our nurture students would make it over the line before they got out of elementary school.
So Dr. Nichols, should we allow our GT students that are ready to go study some more, should we allow them to leave if they would like to?
Absolutely.
All right.
Thank you guys so much for coming.
We can stay for a lecture.
There's no flowers.
Cute, third grade.
Well, you guys asked for an update of curriculum and instruction assessment. I first wanted to say thank you. I have a wonderful team. I inherited a wonderful team who work hard every day and put students first and put teachers first. So I appreciate that. It is a privilege to come to work every day, and it doesn't feel like work because of the great people I get to be part of a team with. So everything I speak of tonight is not just for me, it's from a whole entire team of folks. I just want to remind us that our own mission statement is to educate, empower, and prepare all students for an ever-changing world. When I begin things, I want to know what the end is. What are we looking towards? What do we want? I tell people I'm a silent competitor. You're not going to hear me necessarily out loud, but to begin with the end in mind, and what does that mean? It means to start with a clear understanding of your destination. And I have a clear understanding of where I want our students in Darlington County to end up. It means that you know where you're going so that you better understand where you are now, and so that the steps that you take always lead in the right direction. I'm not going to go over this, but I have 5 directors underneath me who help me do this job, and several coordinators, office admin assistants who also help keep everything going. And so you've got a variety from everything from special education to federal programs, gifted and talented, to secondary, testing and accountability, and elementary underneath that umbrella. So what do we actually do? We assist teachers and administrators in all curriculum, instruction, and assessment practices, protocols, and problem solving. We monitor progress for school strategic and district strategic plans that have to be turned into the State Department every year or updated. All state and district testing. We follow all federal and state laws and mandates, even if they are unfunded sometimes. We have to follow those. Advocate for students and allocate resources in an equitable manner. I'm not going to click on that. If you would like more information about our roles and all the things that we do, if you were to click on that, you would see there's a whole page with all of our names assigned to different things that we do. So where are we currently? Currently in Darlington County Schools, we have 4 excellent schools, 3 good schools, 5 average schools, and then we have 4 below average schools, and those are the schools that presented to you last month. When we look at, I know that we've looked at our scores over and over again, but it's important for me to focus and for me to focus my team. When we look at meeting or exceeding in 3rd through 8th grade ELA, we are at 44.2%, and the state average is 54.1%, and there's a reason I'm putting these numbers up there. You'll see in just a minute. Math, we are at 35%. The state is at 42.8%. It's notable to show you that the state math scores are lower than the ELA scores. End of course exams, English 2, we're at 59.3. The state was at 66.4. This is with C or better, not D or better. Algebra 1, 46.8. State is at 47.8, so we're right there. Biology, we're at 35.7. The state was at 47.9. And U.S. history, we're at 32.3. And the state is at 41.5. So where do we want to be? We want to be leaders in the PD region. We want people to know our name for what we do academically. The state superintendent has put a goal out that we would have all of our students at 75% proficiency over the next 5 years. So that's the reason I put those numbers up there. So how obtainable and how achievable is that? For some schools, it's going to be a little bit easier. For some, there will be extra support that we have to put in place. But just so you can kind of get an idea, about 5 to 8 points a year is what we would have to gain in some schools. But I believe that we can do it. Increase the number of identified GT students, which is what Ms. Johnson just talked about. And as we increase that, that's going to help our growth. That's going to help grow those students. That's going to help our students who take advanced classes in middle school and in high school. Increase students with disabilities achievement levels. As many of you heard me speak about ATSI, and I'll talk about that again. Our reason or our subgroup that hits that is our special ed students, our students with disabilities. And we are in the same boat as most people across the state. But we want to increase their achievement levels. There's a variety of ways that we're attacking that. College or career ready, we want to be the leader in our graduation rate in the PD region. I put this up here to think I'm a visual person. Okay, so when I look at this, you've got these arrows going in kind of a glob of random acts of improvement. It's kind of like we're all around doing things, and we're all doing great things, but nobody's in the same direction, right? So you don't really see a lot of effects. Well, the second one, you get better random acts of improvement. So you get some of your friends on board going in the same direction. And since I have one of my CIA members here, she can know. I feel like we have to be intentional, we have to be focused on the improvement, and we all have to row in the same direction, and that's from our 4K all the way to our graduation, because if you're going off in this direction and you're going off in that direction, that creates issues with equity, that creates issues with academic achievement and support for our students. So making sure that we are intentionally focused on improvement, and she can attest that I put the same thing in our slides every week to say, this is what we're focused on, this is what we're doing.
Oops, I'm sorry.
All right, so how do we get there? So a quote that I love from Mike Mattis is, if you really want to improve your school district, stop adding something new each year. Get good at what works. So that is our focus as my team, is let's get good at what works. There are things that we are mandated that we have to do, and that's those we deal with those as they come. But the things that we are focused on, what are we doing to improve those things? So my long-term goals for us, just to summarize, is professional learning communities, which there were and there are professional learning communities going on, but we're having a refocus of those professional learning communities. Professional learning communities foster that collaboration among our educators to enhance student learning, so that we become, it's that teacher efficacy that helps with teacher retention, which is a good thing. High leverage practices, using scientifically backed instructional practices to foster significant growth to all students. So it is hard sometimes to let go of things that once worked for us or once worked for a group of students and we had success, to let go sometimes when they're not working as well as they once did, and then what do we need to put in its place. I'll talk a little bit about that with reading. Systematic alignment of curriculum, aligning across grade levels and subjects in accordance with South Carolina standards and common curriculum resources. This helps us as a district to not create gaps in students' own learning, especially transient students who might one day be on one side of the district and the next day be on another side of the district. If our schools are all doing different things, we are creating our own holes, so making sure that we are lining up. Data, and that's the thing that we can control, right? We can't control what other people do, but we can control what we're doing within our district. Data-driven instruction, using systematic data that captures student growth and proficiency to inform instruction. So not admiring the data, but actually doing something with the data. It's nothing worse than when you sit and wait in your My Chart for the doctor, and like they don't call you back and it says it's abnormal, you know, and you're waiting on them to tell you. Well, we do that sometimes with student data, so we've got to know what to do with it and in a timely fashion. And that also goes back up to that professional learning community's purpose. Whole child approach, looking at that multi-tiered system of support, MTSS, for academics, behavior, the social, emotional piece. Those all impact each other, and making sure that we're looking at the whole child when we problem solve why a student may not be achieving academically. Build capacity in teachers and administrators. If you do nothing else, I say do that. They can take away money, but they cannot take away the knowledge that we build in each other. Okay? I don't want y'all to take away money, just so you know. Our short-term goals, so this is what we're really focusing on this year, is implementing those new ELA standards with a renewed focus on phonics instruction in the early grades, which falls in with the science of reading, which is how we know our brains learn to read. Okay? Use state-adopted instructional materials as intended. So the state went away for a while of using textbooks for ELA and for other things, and now they have just, with the science of reading, come back to say, you know what, we need something that every teacher can have in their hands to be able to teach at least at the minimal standard of what a child needs. Enhanced math professional development through OGAP, which is the ongoing assessment project, I believe the PS project, and working on the rollout of the new math standards for next year. So Dr. Rivers is working really hard currently to go ahead and get that ready for our teachers for the next year, because every year something changes and we get new standards for something. Okay. Data-driven instruction training through Administrator PLC. So I'm working with the administrators during our principal meetings, and they are all taking a chapter, and we are learning from each other, and then that will follow into our summer pre-service. And then the technology integration support with AI, we have found lots of great resources to help our teachers cut down on time, know how to use it. I was a little skeptical of AI, but I have to tell you, I've really seen the positive uses for our teachers. This is the book that we're using, The Learning by Doing. Richard DeFore and his wife, Rebecca DeFore, are gurus. They have passed away since, but they are gurus in this PLC process. So we are focusing on using that monthly. We are looking at beginning of the year, middle of the year, and end of the year data. In the beginning of the year, we did data huddles with my team, with the principal. The middle of the year with our PADEPT, they will do that with their PADEPT evaluator, and then the end of the year, we will come back full circle. We're looking at the school data, we're looking at district, state, how do I compare to those? What do my subgroups look like? Where is our absentee level? Is it come down? Is it going up? Those skills that will help with ACT, future, we have to think about that young, not just in high school. And graduation rates, that again starts in elementary and middle school. And using our resources, so I'm a big person on using what we have and maximizing it to the best that we can. And so using our literacy coaches and our coordinating teachers, using the textbooks that have been given to us, using our technology to enhance student learning, not to take the place of learning though. I'm proud to say that I believe when I updated the new board members, I have new news. And it's good news. So our targeted support schools, our CSI and ATSI schools, CSI are the bottom 5% of performing schools in the state. Thornwell was on that list, but we got news in January that they have come off that list. And we are very proud of them. We're very proud of them. 2 hours. Technology's taking care of us by updating. And then our ATSI is based on the subgroup, and we also have, so we won't know anything about that one. What did you say? It's like September, maybe? Yeah, September, October. So those, we'll be waiting on those. But we have offered additional support in our MTSS lead interventionist with putting some iReady, which helps supplement that curriculum, identifying the student needs, and giving them the support that they need to get off the list, okay? Because we don't want any child to be, or any subgroup to be falling behind. I point out special education because I mentioned before that's the reason that most of us end up on the ATSI list. So AI, the Magic School for accommodations, that has helped our teachers really understand that, writing the IEP part and helping to differentiate student lessons and modifying. This cartoon is one that just tells you if you would shovel the ramp, basically it will clear it for everybody. So what is good for some students is typically good for all of our students. So using that uniform curriculum for resource that aligns with our general curriculum, I'm a big person on alignment, making sure those things go together. We brought in Project READ, which is a grant-based International Dyslexia Association curriculum that has been approved. We use Spire in the elementary to use a uniform progress monitoring tool. They have tools, they're just not, they have the same function, it's not the same product, so that can create some wonkiness. So we're looking to align that. And maximize time in general education classroom. One of the things that we have noticed and we know as educators that our students, regardless of their disability, are tested on the same state test every year, and so they've got to have exposure to the stuff that they're going to take a test on. So how do we work those schedules so that they're in the general education class as much as possible, and that they have time to be pulled out to work on those specific disabilities and needs? So that is a goal of ours. Do you all have any questions? I thank you for the opportunity to work with these wonderful people because they are amazing. When people ask me, I tell them they're fabulous and nobody can have them.
Any questions, anyone?
I'm glad to see you bringing phonics back, that's for sure. I think that'll help
I do too.
part of reading. I really do.
My doctorate says it will.
I'm very glad to see the whole child approach. Because you meet all the needs that the child needs, especially the social and emotional needs. Thank you. Very good presentation.
Anyone else?
I just have a question for Mr. Brown. Why is it that always IT has to update when you're in your most important presentation? It happens to me at work too. I don't know. Why does that happen? Sorry. Just kidding.
No, Dr. Nichols, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Appreciate it.
If y'all have any questions, feel free to ask.
Thank you.
All right, moving on to we have our quarterly reports. Anybody have any? No, excuse me, I'm sorry, I skipped over. We've got mascot school, Miss Childers, I'm sorry. I went a little too fast.
Mascot and school colors for Black Creek Elementary School.
Okay, all right, switch over my transition, there we go. Okay. Hi. We invited the students of Rosenwald Elementary School and St. John's Elementary School to submit suggestions for mascots for their new school, Black Creek Elementary School. They submitted all sorts of great ideas, from dragons to gators to everything in between. We had panthers and tigers and bears. We invited 5 students from each school to the district office, and then they met with Dr. Newman and discussed the mascot process and the importance of a mascot. And so then the students worked together and narrowed the list down to 2, a gator and a panther. The Office of Communications created ballots and then invited the students of Rosenwald and St. John's to vote on their mascot. Students in grades K2 worked with their teachers who used the vote as a class exercise, and then the teacher submitted the class tally. And then students in grades 3 through 5 were invited to complete their own online ballot. Almost 620 votes were cast. And I'm very excited to tell you that the new mascot for Black Creek Elementary School, with 59% of the votes, Black Creek Elementary School is now the home of the Panthers. So we're excited. Yay! Once our students picked their mascots, we asked the adults of those schools to weigh in and select the colors. On the same day that we invited our students to the district office, we also invited 5 staff members from each school, and those 10 employees selected 4 colors in various combinations. They selected gold, black, green, and gray. And we put various combinations on the ballot, including 2 more variations, but it was the same 4 colors. And then we asked the employees of those 2 schools to weigh in and tell us what they prefer. 93 votes were cast. Both schools were well represented. The vote was very, very close, but the winner, with 31% of the votes, is green and black. So the Black Creek Elementary School will be the Panthers, and their school colors will be green and black.
Good.
Excellent.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. It's exciting times. All right. We have our quarterly reports. Anyone have any questions about our quarterly reports? And we have our budget report. All right.
And Ms. Douglas with us tonight to talk through the latest budget report.
This podium doesn't allow me to sit my papers down without their time. Okay, so the summary reports that you have for December look pretty much as I would expect them to. January is when we get the largest portion of our tax revenue in, so I am anxiously awaiting for those reports. We should get them next week, and that will give us a better indication of what our budget projections really look like if we're close. And, otherwise, the expenditures are pretty much in line. I'll tell you that right now we're averaging about $9.3 million a month in expenditures. So our fund balance at the end of the year, the audited fund balance was 35.3, which is a little over 3 months worth, almost 4 months worth. So we strive to keep 3 months worth of expenditures in our fund balance, so we're on target for that. We have already set up a tentative calendar for our 25-26 budget. We will share that and the process at the next work session. That'll be some fun for our new members. And we've also already set up, I scheduled today meetings with all of our principals, senior leadership team, and directors, and I will share those times and dates with them on Wednesday at the principals meeting. Today I received from our SCASA representatives 10 pages of what's going on at the State House. I won't lie and tell you I've read every single one of them because we were in meetings most of the day, but they are meeting and deliberating. They won't be through until the end of April, and that's if they agree. And then they're scheduled to put their recommendations on the governor's desk the first week of May. Well, we're required by law to pass a budget by June 30th, and we have to have 2 readings. So our first reading will be at the May board meeting, which is May 12th. So they literally will hand the documentation to the governor the week before. So, we project, we get reports from people we have at the State Department, at the legislators, the ones that are watching it and listening and giving us information. And we project what we know, and then we use the crystal ball method for the rest, and we hope that we predict correctly what we're going to choose. So the budget's always a fun time, but we will get it passed before the end of June, and then if we have to amend it, we go back and amend it. We haven't had to do that since I've been here, but yeah, that is a possibility. So, anybody got any questions?
Yeah. What does and you may not know, but in your conversations, what does the forecast look like for public education and funding based on this push for choice?
Yeah, right now, Mr. Govan, the only thing that I've seen is that they're looking at taking that.
Because that's going to have an effect.
It'll have an effect on our numbers as overall.
Well, it'll have an effect on our numbers, but our budget as well.
Well,
if the money follows the child.
Well, they're talking about taking the money from the lottery, so we don't get lottery money.
So we don't get lottery money.
No, but the decrease, if the students do leave, the decrease in the average daily membership would affect us. Not as one-to-one as it used to, but.
Well, I raised that question only because I know, number one, you're live, and number two, I think the community, people need to be aware of that and not be blindsided by it.
Yeah, and they've changed that bill. They haven't passed it yet, but they've gone back and forth, and there's a lot of changes. And this 10 pages that I got this morning has some of that information in it. I was reading some of it right before we came in here, but.
And I think to your point too, I think it's about $9,000 they're kind of settled on for the dollar amount per student that would the student would take with them. And as Ms. Douglas was saying, even though those funds are coming from somewhere, right? And that means that if a student leaves us, that's about the average amount that we get per student. So you can say for every student that leaves, it could be in that range. And so no doubt about it that if a student leaves us to go somewhere else because of this voucher program, we'll lose money. And at some point in time, that's going to affect teachers and staff, because of our student-teacher ratios that we have. And so any student, whether they go to a private school or a charter school or any other school, public school, that's dollars that leave us from an ADM standpoint, I think, is what.
That's why we need to make our schools as good as they can be, because they don't want to leave.
Right.
Right.
And having innovative programs, the one thing that I like is, we can flip the script and compete and market what we have and make sure that we have programs and start programs that are unique. Because I think that is one way. We have economy of scales on our side. If we can start, unique programs that are attractive, we could actually get students from other school districts coming here, or certainly from charter schools and private schools. It's a different way of looking at things, and in public education, we haven't really had to do that before. But I think the reality now is we have to start touting what we do well. We have to start touting all the good programs and the people, like you saw tonight, the teachers that are running the GT program, and making sure that parents have all that information instead of just a brochure that says somebody's better. We're really good at a lot of things, but we haven't been great at marketing ourselves because that just hadn't been part of the K-12 public education process. But it's time now.
That, whether it's public or private or charter, the same amount goes with that child.
Yes.
So you made reference to lottery monies.
They're using those funds to fund that.
They
Lottery
meaning
funds.
the state.
The voucher program.
Okay.
They're
So-
funding it with lottery money.
Okay.
But every time a student leaves, that reduces our average daily membership. And that and the number of teachers it takes to get to 11 per classroom is how we're funded. So it all affects each other. It's not directly the same dollar for dollar, but yeah, it affects us very much.
So lottery money is contributing to the choice, funding the
That's
choice.
their latest.
Yeah.
That's their latest.
Anybody else? All right, thank you, Ms. Nicholas. I appreciate that. Move on to our action items. Yep. So we have district calendar. Is there anything to present new with that? Because I know there was a discussion, a long discussion about this at the
Versus the actual, what we had in the work session, there was 2 changes.
Yes.
And you want me to mention those?
You're welcome to.
Okay. Okay. This is Audrey's, thankfully Audrey has taken care of all this. But when we sent the calendars out to all of the staff across the district for input. And we met with our teachers of the year and talked with them about this as well. And so there were 2 minor changes. I think you have the calendars in front of you at your desk. So in October, if you'll notice, there's a green dot on October 2nd. That's a PD day. That actually was originally back in September, but after talking to teachers and getting input from staff across the district, they made the suggestion that we end the quarter on the 1st and then the day after have that PD day. And then also in March, originally, again, the PD day was on the 19th, and talking with teachers at that time of year, they felt it would be better if we had the PD day before because, again, third quarter folks were working on gearing towards the end of the year and getting information put in the system as far as grades and assignments and everything. Not as critical in October as it is in March. And so those were the 2 suggestions that we received from the Teacher of the Year group and also people across the district. And so we made those 2 changes. But that is the only changes that we made since this was presented at the work session last time.
And I would just add to that, that this is on par with the calendars that we've used for the past couple of years, in terms of the same holidays, the same 2 weeks off, and in about the same location. It's very, very similar to what we've done for the past couple of years.
And just a reminder, this is for the 26-27 school year. We started about 3 years ago having calendars out 2 years in chunks in advance, and parents have greatly appreciated knowing, not just this year, but next year as well, where the calendar is going to fall. So can I take a motion to approve the 2026-2027?
26-27 modified year-round calendar.
Can I get a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries. Next, we have our 2025-2026 board meeting dates. This is the dates that we will meet, and we usually publish those and have those out for vote in February. So I'll take a motion to approve those dates.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? And that motion carries. And Dr. Newman, that leads us up to your update.
Okay. Madam Chair, members of the board, members of our audience, in person and online, thank you for being with us tonight. Wanted to just share a few items from the superintendent's update. I did want to let everybody know that Darlington County School District has been chosen by the State Department to participate in a new compensation pilot grant, which we will be utilizing at Hartsville Middle School and Darlington High School. Those were two of our underperforming schools that we submitted those names to the State Department, and so we're pleased that we were awarded that. It actually goes into effect this year, and so we will be meeting with our schools. Once we get the specific details, we should have those within the next week or so. We'll be meeting with the principals and those schools and the staff to talk to everybody about what that compensation pilot will look like. And this will actually be based on end-of-course scores for the high school and SC Ready scores for the middle school, and ways that teachers can earn extra compensation for their students that do better on those tests that they did last year. So we'll give the board an update on that, more details as we get that information.
This is financial bonuses that they will receive.
That's correct.
Okay, just to clarify.
Yep.
So just bonuses, we're not moving back to the days of like trying to compensate teachers like on student performance as their primary, like,
No.
they're not going to be penalized, I guess that's what I'm saying. We're not moving back toward that.
Right. It'll only be if there is improvement, so there will not be any type of penalty. It's just a bonus structure for improvement on student year to year with their test scores, or teachers in certain end-of-course tests as well that we're doing. And again, as we get more details and we have the conversations with those faculties, we'll come back and report to the board as well about the progress with that.
So it would be based this year compared to last year if there's improvement?
Mm-hmm. Yep. So for example, Algebra 1 at all of the, at Darlington High School in this case, so the end of course scores for Algebra 1 and English 2 primarily start with that.
And so this is a pilot, so are they taking feedback on this, on how it, because I would imagine that you guys will have some feedback on how they measure.
Yes.
How they measure that.
Yes. And there's.
Are we measuring students' improvement or like, how they group the kids and stuff like that?
Go ahead, Dr.
So it's for ELA and math, and they're looking, so in middle school, it would be their growth. They're looking at growth, 5th grade to 6th grade, 6th to 7th, 7th to 8th. For Algebra 1, they're going to compare it to their 8th grade SC Ready and this computer that will calculate that. And then for English 2, it will be their 8th grade SC Ready, because those are kind of the tests that they can do it. Darlington is one of 4 high schools that was chosen. So I have already given a little bit of feedback of things I would like them to consider, for others. But right now it's a start, and the fact that we got in the pilot, my understanding is that they're asking for more money from the state legislature. And the fact that we are in the pilot this year, that will help us to be able to continue to stay. But it is an additional, it'll be so much money per student that teacher gets for the growth of those students. So that's how we understand it, and it's how it's been explained to us, but we've not received the official, all the pinpoints. But they will also run any other data that we would want to. So if I wanted to know, how many students would have grown that had special, were students with disabilities. So there's some things that we can get from it data-wise too, if we would like it.
So this is an incentive for the teachers for helping the students achieve high scores. What about those students that's not part of the project and they are meeting those scores? Then we're providing bonuses or incentives. You understand what I'm saying?
I know exactly what you're saying, and I've had that conversation. Dr. Newman and I have had that conversation also.
Seems like something's wrong with that picture.
It's a starting point, and I expressed those concerns similar to that also. So it is a starting point, and we could have made the decision not to apply for the grant. But when we talked about it, we felt like, that starting somewhere is good. Math does tend to be an area that's hard to recruit in, so obviously that's a good thing to have, some of those things. The State Department did this as a trial pilot last year with some charter schools, from my understanding. There might have, I don't know if there was any public schools, but there were some charter schools that they did it with. They asked for $5 million this year. It was real easy to do the math and figure out they weren't going to be able to award to more than probably 20 or 30 schools. But next year they're supposed to be asking for $23 million. So, but I do understand your concern, and I think it's a completely valid concern for many reasons, because I do believe in equity of the teachers that teach our students.
It's always good to be in the front, though, of something when they're trying to, because if they're increasing funding every year, they're going to want to do this more and more. I mean, it sounds like the hope. So it's good to be on the forefront in that group that gets to give advice and the feedback. So I think that's good.
And we took the stance, because Ms. Thomas, we had the concerns as well, and but we knew we couldn't affect it unless we were part of it. So that was the thing, is let's get in the game, let's start it, and then let's help them make this more equitable and help all. So that's the plan.
And there's a lot of states across the United States that have done very similar programs and seen increases. So if it will help our students, then I'm for it, but would I like to see it more equitably done? Yes.
And then I would also like to say kudos to Hartsville Middle School. They won the academic challenge this past weekend through the PD Education Center. There were 18 middle schools that participated, and lo and behold, Hartsville Middle School was the top school. So kudos to Hartsville Middle School for that. Also wanted to mention Mayo High School for Math, Science, and Technology has another Beta Club state officer. And so congratulations to Caden Baker, who was elected the state vice president for Beta Club. And if you all remember, the outgoing president is from Mayo High School for Math, Science, and Technology, and that's Brayson Aldridge, who is the outgoing president. So the trend continues. Ms. Leonard, you all are doing something over there, right, with the political science piece, because the Beta Club officers are in succession there, so that's great. Also wanted to mention that Hartsville High School had Brandon Tedder, who is the strength coach there, who was recognized with a new program through the South Carolina High School League called Tomorrow's 25. And Tomorrow's 25, South Carolina and Mississippi are the only two states that are doing this, but they're you have to apply for the program, and they selected 25 coaches from all different sports across the state of South Carolina, and they're taking leadership courses, and they are getting professional development for each month for 10 months, and they are also submitting portfolios about their students that they work with. And so really it's a way to start helping build through our coaching ranks leadership and what that looks like, and you know, hopefully as they move on in their careers as well. So congratulations to Brandon Tedder for being one of Tomorrow's 25 in the state of South Carolina. And then I also wanted to mention that our Student Advisory Council is meeting with me this week. We have our second meeting of the year, and we'll be forwarding those topics for the students to come back to talk to me with, and then the plan is in March to have that group come back and present at the board meeting like we did back in the fall too, so you all will get a chance to hear from that Student Advisory Council. And then on that note, as part of our strategic plan goals, looking at staff excellence and just highlighting a few of our schools in the district. Brockington Elementary, their faculty and staff participated in the 100th Day of School celebration. We also had at Hartsville High School, Dr. Pickford and Paula Alvarez hosted writing workshops to assist students writing internal assessments for the IB program. Also, Dr. Pickford and Ms. Gandy provided ACT workshops for 11th graders. At Hartsville Middle School, Ms. Brister, Henderson, and Jensen just became South Carolina Mentor Certified through Francis Marion. At Lamar Spalding Elementary School, Tina Dinkins, 4K teacher, was recognized as their January Teacher of the Month. At Mayo High School, in an effort to expose more students to college and career level learning, several teachers earned AP certification, including the addition of AP Computer Science principles. So kudos to those teachers, and also Mayo's faculty earned the College Board Female Diversity Award for increasing the number of female students in advanced computer science. North Hartsville Elementary had their winter break reading challenge and had great participation with over 400 minutes of extra reading done outside of school. So it was great to see that. Spalding Middle School had their award ceremony for their quarter 2 and recognized the teachers for their excellence in the classroom as well. And that is just a few of the items across the district, highlighting staff excellence, which is one of our goal areas for the strategic plan. And Madam Chair, that wraps up the superintendent's update.
Thank you, Dr. Newman. Anybody have any questions for Dr. Newman about the update? Ms. Carrera, you want to lead us off with board member input?
I think I'm going to pass tonight.
Okay. Your score?
I just want to be short tonight. I just wanted to bring a few highlights. Dr. Miller, the hiring event, I thought it was very good. Had the opportunity to talk to a lot of principals and staff, and saw a lot of potential employees for the district who are very eager in getting jobs here, and thank you for that. I thought it was very good. I enjoyed myself very much. And on the Hall of Fame, Dr. Newman, that was a very good program. I was just honored to be there to honor Dr. Thelma Dawson, whose seat I sit in at this time, and Mr. Dr. Willie Boyd. And believe it or not, Mr. Boyd taught me in high school. Mm-hmm. And he was a principal when I was at high school. Yeah. You know, so we had a little joke about that, about our age. And I said, well, if you don't tell me your age, I'm not gonna tell you mine. You know, but it was real nice just to see him, and he's been doing well. And I enjoyed that. That brought back a lot of high school memories for me. And also tonight, all the presentations were very well. They were done very well. I always enjoy you, Dr. Nichols. I appreciate the fact that you make it plain and simple. That you know, and that you make we understand the gifted program. Excellent program. Because I'm looking at the fact that a lot, like you said, it's not only based on academic, but it's based on the needs of the child. And you're going to address some of the social issues, some behavior issues, and just some of the things that they love to do. It's like the young man that's learning playing chess. I think that's a good game for him to learn to do. So thank you for what y'all doing, and I appreciate all of you all. Mr. Brown, I got to talk to you about my computer. My thing isn't working right tonight. But other than that, everything and all the accomplishments, all the activities the the students are involved in are just excellent. It's just excellent for the school. I don't know how these legislative bills are gonna go, but I just hope they don't hurt us too bad. You know, but we may look for something, but I just hope they don't hurt us too bad once the final bills are signed. And so that's all I have to say.
Ms. Kelly?
I'd just like to congratulate all the students that we recognize tonight. It's a great night when we have a good mix between athletics and academic awards. I like that a lot. That's all I have.
Ms. Thomas?
The only thing I would say to you is continue to, as Audrey said, look at innovative and creative ways where we can realize that one size doesn't fit all when it comes to teaching children, and there are other things that we have to consider when that child comes into our classroom and try and tailor the needs for the children.
Okay. Ms. Thompson?
I just wanted to say that I enjoyed seeing so many kids in our program. I've told Dr. Newman this before, but I just love having either teachers or students, or, you know, I love being able to, that you're bringing people in to see us, and then we're getting to hear from the students and the teachers and other staff members in our district. You always do that, but the last few meetings have been particularly good with getting to see the kids and just reminding us why we're all here, and, you know, our purpose in being here. So thank you for that. Keep that up. I enjoy that a lot if you can. And then also just thank you for thinking outside the box. I think over the 2 years I've been here, I've seen more and more this district trying to do new things and trying to think innovatively and differently about how we approach things, and I've seen that really more and more, and I say keep up the good work.
Mr. Jeffries?
I'd just like to congratulate all our award winners tonight. Kendall Walton was in the Shrine Boat with Lamar. He's going to East Carolina University on a scholarship, so that's excellent. Really a good thing there. We were talking about possibly losing students, but we can maybe pick up students too. And the way to do that is let people know, like we talked about, what we are doing well. And this new rebranding may help us do that, hopefully. So that's what I'm looking forward to. And there's no reason why we can't pick up students. We've got a lot to offer here in Garden County, and we need to toot our own horn a little bit. Nobody will toot it for us a lot of times, so we need to let people know what is going on. And how about our vacancy? How are we?
Jeffers report?
Yes.
Sitting at 12 right now.
12
certified teacher vacancies, yes, sir.
Very good. Thank you.
Mr. Goodman?
Go ahead.
Okay, and I think I'm good. So that'll move us on to our personnel actions. I'll take a motion to approve the personnel actions.
I move that we accept the attached personnel actions.
Can I get a second?
Second.
All in favor? Anyone opposed? Motion carries. And that leads us to an executive session. Looks like we have an executive session for personnel matters and contractual matters. I'll take a motion to move into executive session.
Madam Chair, I move that we move into executive session to discuss personnel matters and contractual matters.
A second.
Second. All in favor? Aye. Anyone opposed? We'll move into executive session. Okay, I'll entertain a motion to come out of executive session.
So move.
Can I get a second?
Second.
All in favor? We are back in open session. No actions were taken, no votes were taken during executive session, and I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Can I get a second?
Second.
All in favor? Motion is, we are adjourned. Carried.